So, welcome everyone. Let's take a moment of silence just to ingather ourselves before we start the reading today. Yeah, so if anyone would like to read out the opening aspiration, please go ahead.
Yeah. With boundless compassion and wisdom, I will work for the welfare of all. May we be free from hunger and discord and have joy and a world at peace.
Thank you. So we have to today maybe take last few bits of verse 6 and then start with verse 7. I think we can today. So verse 6 was relying on spiritual teachers. Through reliance on a true spiritual friend, one's faults will fade and good qualities will grow like a waxing moon. To consider him even more precious than one's own body is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Yeah, so we have to take up this page today, last bit remaining, starting from so the first step is to learn. Yeah, so if anyone would like to read, maybe you can read it all at once and then we can take reflections and discuss. So starting from so the first step.
Yes, I will read it. So the first step is to learn how to make the mind workable. That alone is a huge step forward. We can do this. Nobody else can do it for us. We all have to struggle with that. However, as one great Lama said, if you have good shamatha practice, then the rest of the dharma is in the palm of your hands. The mind will merge with what we are doing and become one with it, and the results will come quickly. Otherwise, as the book says, if we don't have a concentrated mind, then even if we recite mantras for a million eons, the results will not come, which is obvious if we think about it. Everybody is so interested in all these high practices which we can't do properly because the base is not there. It is like wanting to build a golden roof when there are no foundation and no walls. Once we have established the foundations and have a consistent daily practice, then we will benefit from the guidance of a teacher who can help us deepen in our practice through the to the experiential wisdom of the path. There is no point repeating the mistakes many others have made along the way, not taking unnecessary detours. The teacher helps us avoid mistakes, shows us a direct way forward, and keeps us on track. This is a practical thing. The teacher saves us time and unnecessary effort. Although we still have to walk the path ourselves, it will be much harder without an experienced guide. Monica ma'am, I'll just read the last paragraph one more time. Once we have established the foundations and have a consistent daily practice, then we will benefit from the guidance of a teacher who can help us deepen in our practice through their experiential wisdom of the path. There is no point repeating the mistakes many others have made along the way, nor taking unnecessary detours. The teacher helps us avoid mistakes, shows us a direct way forward, and keeps us on track. This is a practical thing. The teacher saves us time and unnecessary effort. Although we still have to walk the path ourselves, it will be much harder without an experienced guide. Thank you.
Yeah, any thoughts? Anyone, if you want to share anything? I think it's pretty clear, although we still reflect and discuss, but it's very, very clear that we have to practice. Without practice, no matter how many books we may read, it is not going to bring results. So, knowing that we have an untamed mind and we have to make it workable, as we were reading last time, it just has to be workable, that when I want, it works. When I want to put it aside, that too I can do. It's in my hands. So, and shamatha practice, I think most of us may know by now. Crux of the matter, I believe, here is that, for example, we take breath and then we call the mind to breath, call our attention to the breath. It could be any object of attention. It could be maybe a flame that you put your attention on. It could be a thought. It could be an idea. But the thing is not the object. The thing is that the mind can stay stably with the object of attention. And that is what all of us, I think, whoever is practicing, we see that it slips. And that is what we have to do. We have to keep bringing it back. And unnecessarily, we keep on judging. So that also is not, one can say, not allowed in shamatha practice, because in judging, you are continuing with the thoughts. Oh, I slipped again, So this is just a continuation of thought. We think that we are doing better, but it's no better than losing ourselves in the other storylines that I was losing myself into. So when I'm judging, that too is just continuing the misery. The point is that the moment it goes away, you bring it back, then again it goes away, bring it back. So knowing as a fact that yes, it will go away. To be very okay with it, that it will go away, the habit is bad, and I don't have to get so frustrated and annoyed with it that why do you keep wandering away, not like blaming the little poor child जिसकी आदत हमने खुद ही बिगाड़ी है. So अब काम हमें खुद ही करना है उसके ऊपर. So knowing that okay, this is the issue and this is how I work with it. So this is just basic shamatha practice, which seems like basic, but we know that it's it's really it takes time. It's not like a moment. But again, as Jetsunma shares that even small attempts every day, if we can maintain a discipline, 2 to 3 minutes every day, not like one day 5 minutes and the other day 1 hour, and then for 5 days I don't come back to it. That she doesn't recommend. So even if it's starting with 5 minutes a day, where I say that okay, I will try to bring back again and again the mind to one object of attention, then we have to just continue with the practice, unless we know that okay, time to maybe shift or move. But we don't have to talk about moving or shifting, because right now we don't have a stable shamatha practice itself. That's what we have to work upon. So yeah, that was just about this shamatha practice. Yeah. Making the mind workable. And we all have done that, that whenever we are studying subjects, like mathematics, chemistry, we all have done that. Even if I have to study for an exam, doesn't matter for what I have to study, I know that I have to put my attention, and we are able to do it to whatever degree we do it. It's just that growing up, we somehow lose that focus, because so many things come here and there and here and there. And also the lifestyles nowadays are very distractive. They are not, it's not Satyug yet. So the lifestyles are very distractive. Social media is on all the time. We have on the tap of a finger all the distractions available. So if in the middle of all those possibilities, if I can make this commitment for myself, that I will make my mind workable. When I want to make it work, it works, it listens. So just that. So shamatha practice helps with that concentration. Yeah, anything anyone wants to add on, share?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, a few months ago, a couple of things. Few months ago, I think I was asking this question that um, is the 21st century does the 21st century has more distractions compared to olden times? Were people less distracted, which is why more people were able to be sadhus and everything? And I was told that that's not the case. There are always distractions of one form or another, and you know one has to just live through them and you know attain peace. Coming to this passage, the part that resonated with me deeply is where it says that if one does not have uh, like I'm just rephrasing the words, that one does not have the concentration, then reading these mantras or reading these books for a million times would not give any results. And it's not that I'm running behind results. I want to enjoy the process too. But yesterday itself, I was saying that half the things I listen to don't even go through my head. They go somewhere else. And the half I listen, but then I have my own opinions that I process them with. And then at the end, it's sort of magical. It's sort of a bad magic, black magic, that people are saying something, but I'm only listening to what I am saying, although I'm not talking aloud. I'm just talking within me. Although they are shouting on a mic with the speaker beside me, but what kind of a dark force is it that I'm not even able to listen to it? So for me, the reason I read the second paragraph once again is that um, without this concentration that I am trying to have, I don't think I'll attend a million sessions, but nothing will happen to me. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Just on what Jagan said, I think I a little bit maybe have a different opinion with what Jetsunma is saying when she says that when your mind is not concentrated, no mantra, no practice can help you. But I have often felt that when my mind is completely scattered, it is only the mantra or the name, like for example, just I can't do any practice. There are times when anxiety takes so much hold on you that especially in very difficult times when you can't really keep up with the practice, it's just the name, just saying it, just as a last resort, just like breathing. The name comes to the rescue, and you feel that the mind that was so much scattered actually gets a little bit concentrated from the name. So maybe just a different perspective. Maybe she's saying it in a different context. But maybe she's saying that mechanically just doing things will not really yield any result if we don't really put our concentration or consciousness into it. But yeah, I do feel that sometimes mind and often our minds are not concentrated, but then it is only the divine name that comes to the rescue.
Yeah. I think whatever we also have to see, because at times I may not be resonating, with a particular name. So, for example, we have this story of, who was it? Maybe Tulsidas ji, who was saying, instead of Ram, he was saying Mara, 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 and he got liberated. so, so I think what is my connection with that name? That also adds on. What do I feel in my being when I'm saying that particular name? It may be the reverse of a divine name, or it may be some other thing. But what do I feel when I'm taking that name? Just talking about name, although here in this one it's not really about name, but yeah. So the point is concentration, that we can read books about concentration, we can read, maybe do thesis on it, but if I'm not practicing it in my day-to-day life, then it's all a waste. So practice, practice, practice. And we have, I think all of us have read enough books, we have listened to enough teachers, enough masters, and we ourselves through life experiences have many experiences which can be now called as convictions, that yes, what is the path. But even after them, we don't practice, then as if that all goes to a waste. And to practice, I have to, when I begin to practice, I see that, oh my God, what's the status? So we start with that, but we don't keep repeating, oh my God, oh my God, it's just taken as fact that, okay. I think many a times, since we like so much of drama all the time, no, it's a bad habit, drama. So here also we involve the drama part, that यार मैं बैठी थी और देखा, पता मेरा माइंड इधर जा रहा था, उधर जा रहा था, पता नहीं कैसे, so, and it's an inward talk that I'm doing to myself. It's not like I don't have to share it to anyone, but I'm inwardly talking to myself. So what Jagan was sharing, that I may be listening to somebody else, but there is an inward chatter going on, so I'm not listening really. To notice this, I think, is the first step, that we are not really truly listening. Jetsunma shares about that whenever we are in a conversation, most of us, again, as if when will the other person stop and I start, because I have something to share, so we are ready with that thing in the mind, and we have hardly heard what the other person just shared. So yes, noticing, I think first step is noticing, and just adding on that we should not be maybe if we can be conscious not to repeat the same drama here also, because see how frustrated my mind is, see how slippery it is. So there is no end to it. Now we have to just come terms to it ki it is like that. Now let me do it. Otherwise it's just the same storyline going on, and I'm thinking that I'm meditating, but I'm not meditating. It's not meditation, it's not concentration, because I'm again concentrating on, oh, see the mind slips. So this is just adding on to the chatter. It's not nothing superior. It's the part of that background noise. I am now fueling it actively, and like one drop ले मेरी तरफ से भी. क्या कि देख बार बार भाग जाता है मेरा दिमाग. So ये भी तो एक थॉट ही है ना, कि मेरा दिमाग बार बार भागता है, मेरे को बार बार फीलिंग्स आती हैं जब मैं मेडिटेशन में बैठती हूँ. So this is all thought. And I'm just adding on to the chatter, while the point is that can I make it a little quiet and concentrated. So yes, I think we see these things as we practice. Yeah, anything more?
One thing, when I was like the first line, right? How to make the mind workable. I had this, I don't know, this kind of a visual say, see if I've hired a yoga teacher or a meditation teacher and she has come to my home and I'm saying, पहले आप फूल काट दो, पहले आप पानी भर दो, पहले आप whatever. I keep giving her different chores. And then I can tell somebody, I hired a yoga teacher, but I didn't feel anything, right? It wasn't fun. I didn't learn anything. I didn't lose weight. I don't have more concentration. I mean, the mind is there, but it's always doing some chores, right? Thinking this, thinking that, and nothing new, right? Past, future, present, wherever. And it's not like, and it's about stilling, right? It's about giving it an opportunity to maybe be what it can be or do what it can do. But if I will not leave it alone to even, I don't know, breathe 2 breaths in peace, but then I do complain also that I tried and it didn't work. I tried, but मेरे से नहीं हुआ. But करा क्या? किस चीज के लिए यूज करा? Like you were saying कि अगर meditate में बैठ के ही, like if I'm sitting for meditation, then also if I'm just judging and just saying that it's not happening, that's as if, right? Like I didn't even give it, and in addition, I'll say it didn't work. So double trap again.
Yeah. I think that's why teachers have said, Deepa Ma has given very clear instructions that just keep bringing it. She talks about breath, so she uses breath as the object of attention. Just keep bringing it to breath. So no judgment required. Just like, many other teachers have shared the example of a little puppy, that how you bring it to the lap and then it goes away, you bring it again to the lab, then it goes away, it will go away. So it's not no judgment at all. That's taken for fact. That's why we are practicing. Otherwise, I mean, what's the point of practice if it's already trained and tamed? So yes, very bluntly, factually, objectively, keep it bringing back to the object of attention. It could be a name, as Nandini was sharing. It could be anything, any object of attention that helps us in gather. Yeah. And regarding, one thing about results, I think it's maybe at times wrong to say that we don't want results. We do want results. Even if we are walking the path of yoga, spirituality, if you really notice closely that we do want results, and it's not bad to want results, But usually what we are doing is that we are putting our head in the wrong places and wanting results from there, which is not going to happen. So now I am putting my head in the right place where the results will come. So ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें मतलब जैसे हम I think paradoxically both of them are correct at the same time, that at times we talk about that, oh, we have to drop expectations and demands, you know. But if you see closely, I am expecting from my spiritual path. But it's a good expectation, it's a right place to expect. You know, when I'm totally banking on the divine, it is giving me as a result peace. Because earlier I was chaotic. You know, I did not want the chaos. I wanted to transcend the chaos. So I turned to spirituality or whatever, you know, taming the mind. And now I see tangibly a result in me, which is more stability, you know, and a little bit of maybe a degree of relative degree of, one can say, bringing the mind to breath or the object of attention. है ना? तो we see those results, and that is what motivates us to practice furthermore. कि अच्छा आज क्यों बैठूंगी, क्योंकि मुझे पता है इसका कितना फायदा होता है ना? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हम रिजल्ट्स नहीं मांग रहे हैं, लेकिन अब रिजल्ट सही जगह से मांगे जा रहे हैं. तो पहले गलत जगह से मांगे जा रहे थे, वहां से तो कोई उम्मीद नहीं है, वहां पूरे जीवन भर मांग सकते हैं वहां से रिजल्ट.
Just on that, if somebody engages in body work, like going in the body and really feeling it, the feeling, like if you go into sensation and where the mind should actually be, where your attention awareness should be in the body. Once you go into that home, it's like really like feeling that, wow, I reached where I belong. Like, when you go, like when you're out, when you live abroad or when you're somewhere, but when you come into your own home where you were raised, where you belong, and you open the door, that feeling is so, and that's the thing. And it's so amazing that you realize it, that, wow, this is how it should be. And, the Gabor Mate's book name, The Myth of Normal, the normality that we have always to be here is not normal. And it's so good you realize it. But then again, you see, again, as you're talking, the conditionality, of course, it is the conditionality of so many lifetimes. It's just not here. You will still again go to this lips, but at least a part of you will have tasted that nectar of being there and will always want to go there, even though mind keeps interfering. So that's, you said that that's a good, it's a good outcome. It's good expectation that you should have. So yeah, on that, I thought of sharing that.
Yes, yeah. And that's what motivates, for us to continue the practice. Yeah. Yeah, anything more? Anyone?
Yes, nothing really. I don't think this will add value, but you know, when I've tried to concentrate in the past, and I have, I've been able to manage things in a more streamlined way, my work or my, other activities and stuff. Then then with practice came pride somehow to me. That warm example that Taru ma'am shared of Srinivasanji. That warm example actually gave me a picture of me back when I was, practicing. Like, we do something called Pata Chakra. It's been a couple of years. We start with Mother, then Sunlit Path, then Savitri, Education Part 1. But after that, I was filled with pride somehow. I did not want to go any further, because once the pride kicks in, that's it. It's the doors to learning shuts down in my head. So somehow this paragraph of practice to attain concentration and to not let pride take control, and to look at the warm example of how I'm still in that, in that darkness. Just yeah, so that kind of nothing. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. No, I totally resonate, and I think this is something once we taste it in our own selves, then if somebody else we see, where we see the touch of this pride, it doesn't really shock. You have been through it and it's part of ordinary human nature right now, not that it is supposed to be like that. And it doesn't shock you. You say that, okay, I have passed through it, I'm passing through it, the other person can also do the same. So first it stops to be a big deal. Pride and arrogance, it happens with everyone, at one or the other phase in our life it happens. But if we also parallelly, if we see what pride is, now on one hand I am meditating and reading the words of the mother, okay. On the other hand there is pride. Now, if you closely look what is pride, you will see that at the base is a thought. वो थॉट इतनी सूक्ष्म होती है, इतनी सटल होती है कि आपको पता भी नहीं लगता वो कब स्लिप इन हो गई और कब आपने उसके ऊपर विश्वास कर लिया, नहीं पता लगा क्या थॉट थी कि देखो मुझे अब इतना कुछ पता लग गया, मैं इन तुच्छ लोगों से थोड़ा सा ऊपर उठ गया हूँ, थोड़ा ज्यादा नहीं तो थोड़ा सा तो ये मतलब आई एम जस्ट गिवन एन एग्जांपल ऑफ थॉट. So just like, and what am I trying to do in meditation? In meditation, I am looking at the thought, I am detaching from the thoughts, and I am not buying into thoughts basically. ना बहुत सारी varieties हो सकती हैं, but you stop to buy into thoughts that much. और ये pride वाली जो बात है, ये भी तो thought से ही शुरू हुई थी ना. But क्योंकि मेरी practice सघन नहीं है, मेरी practice stable नहीं है. No, I think I am practicing, but I am actually not practicing. Once, as you said, that once I think I am a great practitioner, gone, my practice is gone. So the thought that I am a great practitioner, I was not vigilant when it was seeping in, and I was buying into that thought. Simple, it's just a thought. And the moment I become aware that, oh, I let it pass in, I wasn't aware, you can just let it go. है ना, उसके ऊपर हम गोल 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 थीसिस नहीं लिखनी है हमको किसी भी थॉट पे, उसका तो कोई अंत ही नहीं है ना, इट्स अनंत. हर थॉट पे एक थीसिस लिखी जा सकती है एक्चुअली, और वो लगेगी बहुत अच्छी, और उस पर एक्चुअली में डिस्कशंस हो सकती हैं, सेशंस हो सकते हैं. एक थॉट पे जो आपने थीसिस लिखी कि देखो मेरे को ये आई थी, मैंने इसका ये किया, आप उस पर सेशंस कर सकते हो, उन सेशंस की लंबी एक धारा चल सकती है, बट देर इज नो एंड टू दैट. इट मे हैव इट्स पर्पस, बट कितनी करोगे ना, एक टाइम के बाद लगता है कि कितनी यार, मतलब कितनी थीसिस लिखनी है. तो अब मुद्दे पे आ जाए. मुद्दा ये है कि आई शुड नॉट बी रूल्ड बाय थॉट्स, आई मस्ट हैव थॉट्स एज अ टूल. सिंपल, sounds very simple, but for that simplicity we have to put effort. And I'm sure all of us in various degrees are doing it because we know it's important for us, otherwise we won't be here today. कुछ और इम्पोर्टेंट होता हमारे लिए. तो ये लगता है इम्पोर्टेंट, और लगता है इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट, एज आई वाज शेयरिंग दैट कुछ ना कुछ तो रिजल्ट ये दे रहा होगा, हम माने ना माने. ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि हम बिना किसी रिजल्ट के उठ के, चाहे फ्री सेशन भी है, हम उठ के आ जाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होता है. वी डोंट डू दैट. I'm not talking that this session is special, but in general, spiritual practice is helping us. And we notice it. Some part of us admits it. And that is what motivates us. So there is a tangibility in results. And yeah, just wanted to add on that vigilance wala angle, that just a thought slipped in and I became proud. If I let that thought go, then I won't be proud. Thought ही तो है, कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है. अब होता क्या है, प्रॉब्लम हमारे साथ क्या होती है कि हम क्या करते हैं, ओ आई वॉज प्राउड, ओ माई गॉड आई वॉज प्राउड, तो और उसके अंदर हम धंसते चले जाते हैं, rather than recognizing that I let that come and can I just let it go now, stop clutching onto that thought, gone, start the practice again. Yeah.
Thank you for adding more context to this.
Yeah. Anything more on this, anyone? So again, I think she's recommending not to really run towards the glitter. Many a times we have glittery, sophisticated practices, but to have a base which is solid and stable. And that base could be according to our natural inclinations. Any practice, so many infinite number of practices, tools are there. Any practice can work as a stable base. So first to develop that base and not to like really jump high, as she shares here, that everybody is so interested in all these high practices which we can't do properly because the base is not there. अब कैसे ऊंचा मकान बना लोगे जब नींव ही नहीं होगी, है ना? So if we have seen how buildings are constructed, the more you want to take it higher, अगर आप 150 फ्लोर बनाने हैं, 100 फ्लोर्स बनाने हैं, the deeper has to be the digging for the foundation. तो अगर हम फाउंडेशन नहीं दे रहे तो it's no point thinking about all those 150, 100 floors that we may be wanting to have. And the deeper we stabilize ourselves in our being, we see that actually we can progress further. The more we ground ourselves within us. तो grounding बहुत जरूरी है. I think this is also very interesting that there is no point repeating mistakes many others have made along the way, nor taking unnecessary detours. The teacher helps us avoid mistakes, shows us a direct way forward, and keeps us on track. It saves us time and unnecessary effort, but we are we. And, so I, from my own experience, may share with a friend that, see, this what you call as love is a poisonous thing, one has to purify. But it may not resonate with my friend, and my friend has to go through all the unnecessary troubles from my end. So I think that, okay, I have cancer. Now I have realized a few things, but it doesn't mean that you have to have cancer so that you have the similar or different realizations. But somehow our make is like that we don't get convinced easily, and we think that अगर नहीं तेरे को नहीं मिला, तेरी अपनी लाइफ है, बट मेरी अपनी लाइफ है, तेरे को नहीं मिला तो मेरे को मिलेगा, है ना? तो ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि मैं नहीं हाथ पैर मारूं? But again, the thing with a teacher is that right now, since we were talking about spiritual teachers, there is a deeper bond between you and whatever teacher one has got. There is love, there is respect, there is also some kind of, I think, obedience, if I can say that. अगर मदर ने कह दिया तो बस मुझे पता है, चाहे मुझे अभी समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं, बट मुझे ये फॉलो करना है. So that kind of obedience is there, which really helps if one is ready and ripe to save those unnecessary troubles and blows that are needed generally. So it can make the path simpler for us, shorter for us, straight for us, if only one is ripe enough to be obedient to the master. And many a times masters say things which at that moment you are not understanding, but because of that deeper connect that you have, that she would not say anything, mother would not say anything which is not for my benefit. So माना मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, but मुझे follow करना है, because of that love and deeper bond which is there. So that really helps if one can follow. At times we can't. So then we get the blow and then come back, which is also okay. Yeah. So anything here in the last paragraph? Okay, so then I think maybe we can, if not this, yeah, if there are any reflections on verse 6, please share. Otherwise, we can start at least touching upon verse 7. Yeah. Okay. So verse 7 is going for refuge. Anyone who would like to read, please go ahead. Taru, you wanted to read if you want to now.
Going for refuge. Whom can worldly gods protect? Themselves imprisoned in samsara. To take refuge in the three jewels, who never fail those they protect, is the practice of a Bodhisattva. The previous verses were basically presenting us with the problem, and now comes the solution. This is the situation we are in. So how do we get out? Again, Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche summarizes the issue. People naturally search for refuge, for someone or something to protect them from sorrow and torment. Some people turn to the powerful with the hope of achieving wealth, pleasure, and influence. Others seek protection through natural forces such as stars or mountains. Some seek aid through the power of spirits. But none of these mistaken objects of refuge are free from ignorance and samsara, and they therefore cannot provide ultimate refuge. Their compassion, if they have any, is partial and limited. I'll continue, right?
I think you can read this little paragraph.
Yeah. Rinpoche further explains that true refuge can only be provided by something that is itself totally free, free from the bonds of samsara and free from the limited peace of a one-sided nirvana. According to the teachings, this quality of true refuge is to be found only in the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, which are considered to have absolute wisdom, non-biased compassion, and unimpeded ability.
So, there is this occult, things Mother shares, and she talks about worldly gods. And in various villages and various cultures, we see that they have their own gods, that they are praying for either health or fortune or whatever. If some calamity strikes, then they try to appease the god. And Mother says that it's just reflecting on what was the verse also, that when you offer them things and sacrifices, they become very pleased, yes. But then they get addicted to those offerings. They are beings, like, they are there. So they get addicted to your offerings, and when you don't offer, they can also become rusht. In Hindi we say rusht, ye naraz ho gaye. So that's what she's sharing here, that they are also a part of samsara, and true refuge can be only something which is beyond also, which itself is not bound by the duality of samsara. There we find the ultimate refuge, the true refuge. Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. क्योंकि वहां पे आपको एक श्योरिटी है कि कोई भी आपको अपने इंटरेस्ट के लिए पागल नहीं बना रहा. किसी का कुछ पर्सनल. एंड अगेन संघा, व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ संघा, one can reflect over the word sangha, because here it means co-travelers on the path. For them, truth is most important. This, in other words, union with the divine is most important. That's the priority in their life. So जब हमारी inner compass वो set होता है, तो फिर हम लेफ्ट राइट का जो ग्लिटर है उसमें नहीं पड़ते, और फिर लोगों का मिस यूज भी नहीं करते. कि आपको पता है कि मेरे को ना इससे कुछ चाहिए ना उससे चाहिए, जिससे चाहिए मैं उसकी तरफ जा रहा हूँ. ना तेरे से चाहिए ना तेरे से चाहिए. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि इवन वी कैन एक्चुअली बी अ पार्ट ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल कम्युनिटी एंड वी वेरी वेरी क्लिंगी टू ईच अदर. दैट कैन हैपन. सो इट्स नॉट जस्ट सिर्फ नाम करने से, अगर मैं अपनी कम्युनिटी नेम कर दूं, ओके लिविंग लाइट संघा, इट डजंट बिकम द संघा, है ना. So we have to see that inner intention has to be pure, so that non-stickiness is there, and nothing of the samsara, you know very well by now that nothing of the samsara can I cling to. So if there are discussions or interactions amongst friends, they relatively will be non-sticky in nature, because आपको पता है कि आपको एक दूसरे पे नहीं रुकना. So it guides us in the right direction. Friendships are there, interactions are there, friendships are there, hand holding is there, but stickiness is what, I think Buddha and Dharma without context also just would not mean different things at different time. Buddha is Buddha, enlightened beings who are free of the world, and yet also offering their service to the world. And Dharma is all these good words of masters, mystics, that is there with us, scriptures, Shrutis, Vedas, Upanishads, all the things that avatars have given us from time to time, that would be part of Dharma. Dharma is also, we can, if we go the root of Dharma is coming from this in Dhra also, I think in Sanskrit it means to hold. So that which is the ultimate holder of everything, which is truth. So anything that takes us towards truth can be part of Dharma. तो हम अक्सर बात करते हैं कि ये तेरा धर्म है. That which holds you, which doesn't scatter you. स्वधर्मा की बात करते हैं इंटेग्रल योगा में, स्वधर्मा, where I completely get back home fully, wholly, and live from there, swadharma, inner truth, that which binds me, holds me. Otherwise we are all scattered here and there in pieces. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, 3 jewels. तो अगर रिफ्यूज लेना है तो इसमें लेना है, और कहीं रिफ्यूज अगर हम एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे भी तो एज मदर सेज वहां से हमें डिसअपॉइंटमेंट ही मिलेगी, क्योंकि है ना, जब जो खुद ही उससे उभरा हुआ नहीं है, चाहे आपका कितना भी जिगरी दोस्त हो, इट डजंट मैटर कि अच्छा तूने मुझे ऐसे किया, जैसे हाउ कुड यू डू दैट. बेचारा, मतलब वो कर क्या सकता है, वो ही इज पार्ट ऑफ दिस थिंग ऑफ डुअलिटी, चलती चाकी देख के दिया कबीरा रोए, वो भी पिस रहा है, तो वो हमें कैसे निकाल लेगा? तो दैट इज वाई जो निकले हुए हैं वो निकाल सकते हैं, जिनको रास्ता पता है वो निकाल सकते हैं, या जो रास्ते पे ट्रूली चलना चाह रहे हैं, तो दैट वुड बी संघा। ट्रूली चलना चाह रहे हैं, वो फंसना नहीं चाह रहे अब, दैट वुड बी संघा। संघा के नाम पे, इवन बाकी चीजों के नाम पे भी काफी चीजें लेफ्ट राइट हो सकती हैं। So that is where we must seek refuge, if anywhere. Otherwise, as mother says, we fall on our nose and it hurts badly. फिर हम गाना गाते हैं, दोस्त दोस्त ना रहा, प्यार प्यार ना रहा, जिंदगी हमें तेरा एतबार ना रहा। तो गलत जगह पे विश्वास डाला था, तो यही होना था, और क्या, मतलब अगेन अपनी कहानी है, मैं किसी और के लिए नहीं कह रही। yeah, yeah.
This जैसे बुद्धा धर्म संघा, जैसे अब when we write applications for colleges and all, or even in interviews, we are sometimes asked that who do you want to become, right? और जो उनकी गाइड्स होते हैं ना, जैसे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस के, तो उसमें वही 3-4 उस टाइम के जो बिलियनियर्स नहीं होते हैं, क्योंकि बिल गेट्स के बारे में बोलना है तो ये बोल देना, कोई किंग, आई डोंट नो विच एयरलाइन, कोई वर्जिन एटलांटिका कोई था, आई रिमेम्बर व्हेन आई वाज स्टडीइंग, आई डोंट इवन रिमेम्बर हिज नेम, they choose him and say this, मतलब who are you inspiring to become, है ना? the the Buddha doesn't come in a regular conversation, it shows कि मेरे लिए क्या जरूरी है, right? कि what am I, कि सबसे ज्यादा is materialistic success, उसी हिसाब से धर्म, जैसे आप धर्म कह रहे हो कि क्या चीज पकड़ रही है, ट्रूथ पकड़ेगा, बट मेरे को एक इंसानियत या फिर एक ह्यूमन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से ज्यादा वर्ल्डली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लगती है, मेरी रिलेशनशिप की ड्यूटी, एज अ चाइल्ड, एज अ मदर, एज अ फादर, एज अ फ्रेंड, इतना तो मैं कर ही सकता हूँ और इतना तो मुझे करना ही चाहिए, चाहे मैं मेडिटेट करूँ ना करूँ, बट आई शुड बी देयर, आई शुड बी देयर। अरे ब्रेकअप हो गया तो बाहर तो लेके जाना ही बनता है, अदरवाइज इट वुड नॉट वर्क। तो जस्ट अगेन ब्रिंग्स टू द क्वेश्चन के what am I holding on to as the highest in my life? And if that is what I'm holding on to, and then I end up crying here, it's painful, why is life so hard? Then I need to again re-question or I don't know, orient कि या फिर तो ये चाहता हूं, तो फिर यहाँ का देखना पड़ेगा ना, अदरवाइज वहां पे तो वो नहीं मिल सकता, वहां पे तो मटेरियलिस्टिक मिलेगा, फिर खुश रहो, और फिर मटेरियलिस्टिक सब कुछ मिल जाता है, फिर मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस हो जाती है कि सब कुछ जो तो चाह तो मिल गया, फिर भी इनकम्प्लीशन है, अगेन ऑब्वियसली थैंकफुली लाइफ कीप्स पुशिंग यू इन द सेम डायरेक्शन, बट मोस्टली धर्म से आई फेल्ट कि मोर देन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ड्यूटीज एंड ऑल ऑफ व्हाट वी थिंक इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, there is something deeper and bigger.
आई थिंक इस सेंस में देखा जाए तो ऑल ऑफ अस आर अधर्मीज, because we find all the excuses to not to actually give attention to what deserves the most attention. और अगेन द एग्जाम्पल्स दैट यू वर शेयरिंग, अगर और भी एग्जाम्पल्स ऐड ऑन किए जाएं तो देखा जाएगा कि उन्होंने किसी भी छोटे मोटे मतलब रिलेशन को महत्ता नहीं दी, उन्होंने एक्चुअली में जो स्वधर्म था उसको इम्पोर्टेंस दी, एंड दैट इज वाई वी स्टिल रिमेम्बर देम 3000 years later. और तब तो ऑफ कोर्स गालियां खाई होंगी, तो वही है कि मतलब गालियां खाने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए, जब पता है कि मुझे क्या करना है तो फिर तो गाली बोलता रहे जो जिसको बोलना है। अब बुद्धा जब निकल रहे होंगे घर से, तो उनके कोई फूल थोड़ी ना बरस रहे थे कि वाह वाह क्या काम करने जा रहे हो, बहुत गालियां दी होंगी। अभी भी लोग, मेनी पीपल से he didn't do the right thing, whatever. So yes, I think वही है that which comes to me again is that our own conviction and calling is not really solid and stable, and we blame the others कि अच्छा ये नहीं करने दे रहा, मुझे वो नहीं करने दे रहा, ये रोक लेता है, वो रोक लेता है, जबकि हमें actually अभी खुद वो urge ही intense नहीं हुई है that no, I have to find it, I have to seek it, no, I have to give this attention. और जब वो बनती है हमारे लिए most important, तो फिर हम देते भी हैं. लाइक राइट नाउ अगर अभी हमारी जिंदगी में जो जो इम्पोर्टेंस है जिस जिस चीज़ की, हम उसको देते हैं. अगर स्लीप इम्पोर्टेंस है तो हम स्लीप को इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं, हाँ कि भाई मुझे 7 घंटे सोना ही सोना है, मेरा तो उससे कम में काम ही नहीं चलता, देते हैं. तो जब हमें कन्विक्शन हो जाती है कि नो, फॉलोइंग माई इनर कॉल इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, ऑल द रोल्स गए साइड पे, and then I can again reclaim those roles if required later, but this I have to attend, so then I think there is no confusion. जब पता लगता है किसी चीज की इम्पोर्टेंस तो हम उसको देते हैं इम्पोर्टेंस, और अगर अभी नहीं हुई है वो चीज इम्पोर्टेंट तो फिर नहीं दे रहे. अभी हैं बाकी चीजें जो घर करके बैठी हैं. व्हाट यू वर रीडिंग इन सावित्री, आई थिंक इट वाज सावित्री, that man's lower nature even it holds up a large room. Which was it? Was it in synthesis of yoga we were reading that it holds, it takes still a larger place? I think maybe Savitri, कि अभी उन छोटी छोटी चीजों को बहुत ज्यादा प्रायोरिटी दी हुई है और उन्हीं से पूरा दिन भरा हुआ है, समथिंग लाइक दैट. ये जो जरूरी है उसको अटेंड करने की जगह ही नहीं बचती, 5 मिनट भी नहीं बचते. तो या समवेयर अलोंग दैट लाइन. तो फिर हमें या तो एज यू वर शेयरिंग कंप्लेन करना छोड़ दो, जो चाहिए वो मिल तो रहा है, फिर क्या. बट वही है, हम ना इधर के होते हैं ना उधर के होते हैं, सबकी कहानी.
I also feel that, sometimes we also don't understand the urgency of doing it when we have a healthy body. Because we feel we have time. I think Taru, one of the sessions we were discussing that we don't even know if we'll get up tomorrow or not. But still we keep thinking that we have so much time that we think हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे, and बाद में पढ़ लेंगे. सावित्री decide किया, एक पेज ही decide किया है, उसमें भी negotiate करते हैं. We all do, I mean, including myself. And when time really goes away and you're suddenly stuck with a big thing that affects your body, then if you've not made the practice of really stabilizing yourself, you can't really do. So I mean, that is also, I feel, especially when I'm ill, I can't sit, but my mind is not still at all. Even if I have fever, I just so much ruminations because the body is not supporting. So I mean, that is also important. And like when I go to Pondicherry, sometimes I go to the care, and like some people, like my dad's acquaintance, we go meet, and sometimes I'm really amazed. That particular woman there, Jayashri Bhen, and she was, her body was not supporting. She was there on the bed for last 3 years, bed sores. You can't look at them, and yet such stability that she's still talking, and she's just chanting om om om. And I was amazed, I was taken aback that that how could she do it. But that's because she she probably has built. Whereas when I get fever, I can't even like think about the mother, because constantly I'm thinking bukhar kab utrega, kya ho gaya, kya dawai lu. So I mean, that's the thing, that urgency when we have a healthy body is something that, like if grace comes, we should be really grateful that we're given this opportunity, human birth, to do it. So let's do it. But still, inertia is quite hard.
Yeah, there is a song by Kabir ji where he shares what you were sharing. He shares, अरे अरे होवे रे भाग भला भला तेरा साधु, सतगुरु उमड़िया पड़ी रे समंद मासी. अब जब अभी तेरी जवानी अभी बहुत समुद्र के जैसी बड़ी हुई है, नाउ अगर तू करेगा तो तेरा भाग भला होगा। फिर देन ही सेज लेटर दैट पाछे ने याद नहीं आवेगी पिंजड़े में व्यापे पीड़। जब आपकी बॉडी में बिल रैटलिंग विद पेन, then you would not be able to concentrate. तो अभी कर ले। And not just this one, many others, couplets also, songs also, where he shares the importance of practicing right now when we are well, not waiting for a later moment. Yeah. Yeah. So just these lines, I found them in Savitri. See here. So it's how Savitri now is convinced to give most attention to what needs most attention. Shares, obedient to a high command, she sat. Time, life, and death were passing incidents, obstructing with their transient view her sight. So when we give importance to happenings of life, time, and death, they obstruct our view actually. Obstructing with their transient view, तो छोटा सा झरोका दिखा रहे हैं और उससे आपका एक्चुअल में ट्रू साइट ब्लॉक हो रही है। Obstructing with their transient view her sight that must break through and liberate the God imprisoned in the visionless mortal man. The inferior nature born into ignorance still took too large a place. It veiled herself and must be pushed aside to find her soul. So I was just remembering these lines, that how still the inferior nature takes 24 में से maybe to be statistically okay 20, तो मतलब ये भी मैं थोड़ा कम लगा रही हूँ, थोड़ा ज़्यादा भी कर सकते हैं। 20 hours तो जाते ही जाते हैं। The inferior nature born into ignorance still took too large a place. It veiled herself and must be pushed aside to find her soul. मतलब हम दोनों हाथों में हमको लड्डू नहीं मिलेंगे कि एक तरफ से 20 hours हम उसको अटेंशन दे रहे हैं जो एक्चुअली में doesn't deserve that much of importance, और दूसरे हाथ में लड्डू भी फुल चाहिए कि कंटेंटमेंट चाहिए हमें लाइफ में, है ना, प्रोग्रेस चाहिए, जॉय चाहिए, तो वो नहीं मिलेगा। पुश्ड असाइड, ये भी नहीं कह रहे कि रिजॉल्व्ड उसकी भी जगह नहीं छोड़ी कि चलो बात तो करें, ऐसे डिस्कस तो करें अपने अनफुलफिल्ड लॉन्गिंग्स एंड इमोशंस एंड फीलिंग्स की, नहीं, उसकी भी जगह नहीं छोड़ी। एट अदर पॉइंट ही सेज क्रश्ड। और हमको क्या लगता है, द सॉन्ग्स दैट वी लिसन, पत्थर के सनम तुझे हमने मोहब्बत का खुदा, है ना, पत्थर, मतलब एंड वी लुक एट इट लाइक गलत हो रहा है ना, जब हम किसी को पत्थर का सनम बोल रहे हैं तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि कुछ गलत कर रहा है वो इंसान, है ना, और हम जो कर रहे हैं वो ठीक कर रहे हैं। बहुत सारे गाने हैं ऐसे एक्चुअली। वो निर्मोही मोह ना जाने जिसका मोह करे, मन रे तू काहे को, मन रे तू काहे ना धीर धरे। सो रेस्टलेस वाइटल एनर्जीज, वांटिंग टू स्टिक टू अनदर पर्सन। और इन्हीं गानों पे हम पैदा हुए हैं। सोचो, मतलब हमारी कंडीशनिंग की बात करते हैं, दिस हैज बीन अवर वाटर व्हेन वी वर, एंड रियली रेस्पेक्टेड कि क्या गाया है, मन रे तू काहे, मतलब ये ठीक है, मन रे तू काहे ना धीर धरे, अच्छा लग रहा है सुनने में, बट लुकिंग क्लोजली इट इज द रेस्टलेस एनर्जीज। और एक्चुअली में कहा जा रहा है कि वो निर्मोही मोह ना जाने, भाई उसको नहीं पता मोह क्या है ना, तू रहने दे, मतलब उधर सिर मत मार। मतलब नाउ आई एम गिविंग प्रायोरिटी टू मोह, मोह को मैंने प्यार बना दिया। और जो अब मोह नहीं कर रहा है, एक्चुअली वो मेरा भला कर रहा है, उसको बोला जा रहा है कि यार उसको तो नहीं आता, तू कहीं दूसरी जगह जाके मुंह मार, मतलब टाइप, यहाँ पे दाल नहीं गलेगी। किसी दिन एक्चुअली हम बॉलीवुड सॉन्ग्स का एक सेशन रख सकते, नाउ दैट वी आर एट इट। This is how we actually get derailed, and when we are derailed, we think that we are on the track. And then why is life not giving me what I need to get from here? No, I am on the track. क्योंकि बचपन से वही सुना है, वही देखा है. ये मोह मोह के धागे मेरी उंगलियों से जा चिपके. इट्स अ मेलोडियस सॉन्ग, आई लाइक इट रियली. नो बट गाना आप देखो ना, ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा चिपके, मतलब गॉड. तो यहाँ हम वो चिपचिपापन नहीं छोड़ पा रहे, और ये चिपकने की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. एक्चुअली हम म्यूजिक सुनना एक्चुअली छोड़ देंगे अगर, है ना, अगर ये इनकी अंदर की बातें पता लगे कि गाने कह क्या रहे हैं. सुना नहीं जाता, फिर सुना नहीं जाता. इवन म्यूजिक अप्रिशिएट भी नहीं कर पाते, क्योंकि जो लिरिक्स डल गए हैं वो ऐसे डल गए हैं कि आप वहां जा ही नहीं पा रहे. ओके, यस, नोटेड भारती जी. यस. ओके, सो
Thank you, Monica.
yes, most welcome. So again, I mean, seeking refuge, now we will seek refuge. जैसे हम बात करते हैं कि अगर हम इतने चिपचिपे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं तो हम चिपकेंगे. तो वहीं जाके क्यों ना चिपको जो चिपकने लायक है. As mother shares that never seek any support, for all your needs, just seek support in the divine, and everything will be taken care of. तो ultimate अगर चिपकना ही है तो वहां जाके चिपको, and then everything is taken care of. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ कमी पेशी रह जाएगी, क्योंकि at times we have perceptions कि अगर डिवाइन को चिपक गए तो बाकी चीजों का क्या, है ना. लेकिन वो सिर्फ परसेप्शन है. जिन्होंने किया है ये, उनका जीवन कितना फला फूला है, वो वही जानते हैं. So my suggestion is that we can maybe continue next time on this verse again, starting from here. Yeah, if there are any last comments, we can take any reflections.
Monica, can you explain what is the meaning of one-side nirvana? I had that question, I just missed it.
Yeah, so Sri Aurobindo talks about this also, where he talks about कि अब जैसे हम प्रकृति की बात करते हैं, प्रकृति is all the movements, you know, thoughts are there, feelings are there, happenings are there, everything that moves is प्रकृति. तो हमें जब उसमें कमियां दिखती हैं तो हम चाहते हैं उससे डिसएंटेंगल होना, right? So then we are able to disentangle to such an extent that we actually gain a state of absolute stillness and silence, and it's very peaceful. But the prakriti has remained the same. I have dissociated from it, but it hasn't led to transformation of prakriti. एग्जाम्पल इसका ये ले सकते हैं, जैसे रमना महर्षि की बात करते हैं, तो रमना महर्षि के when he was actually meditating, it is said that he used to have ant hills in his skin, but he was somewhere else. You know, so the skin or the body, it's not transformed, it's not become divine, but you have disentangled yourself from the body so much that you have gained that absolute peace and silence. So, and mother says that those who want just peace, because there would be sadhaks coming to and fro from Ramana Maharishi's two mothers, you know, so there was many people who were connected both ways. So mother says that if you want peace, then you go to Ramana Maharishi because he has achieved that. But our work starts and goes further. Once you have achieved peace, and not only that, once you have, while on your way to achieving that peace, you have to work also on consecrating the whole nature, not leaving the nature at it as it is. So this negative nirvana is that disentanglement which leaves the prakriti as it is. The life remains as it is, but you have found a stability somewhere as consciousness where it can be called bliss or silence or absolute peace. But in integral yoga, that's not what we are going to embark upon, according to Sri Aurobindo. Yeah, and Mother talks about it. Mother says that if you just by meditating, you cannot be silent. You cannot silence the mind just by meditating. She says for that, it's very good to consecrate each action of your life. Consecrate each thought, each feeling, each word that you speak, each interaction that you make throughout the day, each activity of the day. So when we consecrate that to the divine, when we keep offering that to the divine, that also adds on and makes the mind silent. Because now I'm not wanting anything, I'm just offering the best I can do in every attempt, and I'm offering it to the mother. So there is no space for restlessness. So the mind is quiet, the mind is silent. Whatever you do, you want to do the best you can do to your abilities. In each moment you try to do the best and you offer it. जो जैसे गीता की बात करते हैं कि कर्म करते जाओ, फल की चिंता ना करो. तो दिस हैज अ रिलेशन देयर. बट कर्म करो तो अपना बेस्ट करो, ये नहीं कि हाँ बस कर्म कर दिया. कि मदर के लिए कर रहे हैं, सुंदर तरीके से करेंगे. So that attitude of that, not only I can do it better, but I want to do it better and better and better. Everything that we do, कोशिश वो जारी रहनी चाहिए, and then it gets offered. So nothing remains with me, and there is no space for restlessness. The mind is quiet. Okay, so we'll take then further from here next time. This is page 44, this first page only, verse 7. Just before we leave, if we can take a moment in silence, dedicating, sharing, collective discussion, reflection, understanding, sharing all the merit, keeping nothing with ourselves, sharing it with all the sentient beings, near and far. May our hearts be full. May we have true joy and progress in our lives. Thank you, everyone.